This episode is brought to you by Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to sign up using the link in the description will get their first 2 months free. According to a recent article in Business Insider, Google is the second best tech company to work at in 2018. The list was compiled after taking into account what employees had written on the job website Glassdoor. Extremely intelligent and competent coworkers, exciting products, great management, amazing perks, said one Google engineer. Google is not only one of the world's leading tech companies, but has always sold itself as uber cool, a little bit wacky, and wonderful, if not, according to some employees, stressful at times. These are hard-fought-for jobs, and you'll need to impress in the interview. Let's see if you pass muster in an interview. In this episode of the Infographics Show, could you pass this Google interview? We are going to start with one of the easiest questions you might be asked. And if you can't get past this one, you might well be in trouble. Question: you need to check if your friend has your correct phone number, but you must do it through a third party and a note you have handed to that third party. The problem is you are not allowed to let the third party know what your phone number is. What do you write on the note? We'll give you some time to think about each question. Answer: it seems like this one is all about how the question is asked. You see, you don't have to speak to your friend at all. You just need to know that he or she knows your correct number. So just tell him to call you at a certain time. If he calls you successfully, you know he has the correct number. And if he doesn't call you, you know he doesn't have the correct number. This one you really should have got, but they are going to get harder as we go on. Question: why are manhole covers round? Answer: it's because if they're round, they won't fall through the hole. A rectangular manhole cover could be turned and plop, there it goes down the hole. A round cover can also fit on the hole if turned at any angle. There are other reasons related to the shape of humans that go down the manholes, and also the fact that it's easier to dig holes for round covers. According to one website, round castings are also easier to make. But let's face it, most interviewers won't be expecting that answer. Question: how many times a day do a clock's hands overlap? Answer: this one is kind of a trick question. You might just come right out and say 24, but that's not correct. The hands will overlap at 12, 105, 210, 315, 420, 525, 630, 735, 840, 945, and 1050 2 times a day. At 11:55, there is no overlap because the hour hand is on its way to the 12, so the answer is 22 times. Question: you are the captain of a pirate ship, and on board you have treasure worth a small fortune. The problem is, if you don't share this treasure between the rest of the guys on the ship in a way that they are happy with, they will kill you. You also want the very best deal for yourself. How do you share the treasure? Answer: you give 51% of the treasure to the other pirates and keep 49% for yourself is the answer Google was looking for. Apparently, this will keep them off your back. Shiver me timbers, wasn't that one easy? Question: how many piano tuners are there in the entire world? Answer: how would you possibly know the answer to this? Apparently, Google isn't thinking for a moment that you could get the right number. Instead, we are told that you are supposed to say however many the market demands. The way someone worked it out is that you should add up the hours it takes someone to tune a piano and how many times a piano needs to be tuned. So if it takes an hour to do the tuning and the average tuner worked for 8 hours 5 days a week, he or she could tune 40 pianos a week at most. Your answer would then be 1 tuner for every 40 pianos. Now make a guess at how many pianos there are. These are called Fermi problems, which basically means making intelligent guesses. All Google wants to know is that you can make an intelligent estimate based on fairly reasonable assumptions. Question: take a country where every family continues to have children until they have a boy. If they have a girl, they have another child. If they have a boy, they stop. What is the proportion of boys to girls in the country? Answer: Okay, so there are people arguing about this on mathematics forums, and we won't pretend to know better than them. The Google answer is apparently 50-50 of boys and girls. Some people have drawn up long and complicated equations and disagree. One person writes it's 50-50 because it follows the same law of averages as tossing coins. He writes think of it as coin tosses, as the resulting distribution is completely independent of the stopping time. The proportion will, in the limit, always converge to the original distribution, which is supposed to be 50-50. We'll just agree with that person, but if anyone has a different answer, please tell us in the comments below. Question. Now to something a little less taxing on the brain, but it shows you can think outside the box if you get it right. The question is simply this. A man pushes his car to a hotel and lost his fortune. What happened? Answer: did you get it? You see, this scenario happened when the person was playing Monopoly. He moved his car, or board piece, to a hotel and landed on perhaps Boardwalk, or for Brits, Mayfair. He lost all his cash for that unlucky roll of the dice. Question: back to math. You have 8 golf balls. 7 of them are exactly the same weight, but one of those dimpled spheres weighs a bit more than the others. How would you find which ball weighed more if you had a balance, but could only perform 2 weighings? Answer: first take 6 balls and put 3 on each side of the scale. If one side doesn't weigh more and the scale is exactly equal, you know that one of the 2 balls you have left is the imposter heavyweight. Just weigh them now. But if the heavy ball is part of the 3 balls on each side of the scale, you will now know that it's one of the 3. Pick 2 balls from those 3 and put them on each side of the scale. If one ball weighs more, you'll see. But if both balls weigh the same, you'll know that it's the ball you didn't put on the scale. Question: you are shrunk to the size of a nickel, and your mass is proportionately reduced so as to maintain your original density. You are then thrown into an empty glass blender. The blades will start moving in 60 seconds. What do you do? Answer: okay, so Google is being a bit annoying here. You see, it would seem that there's no scientific way you could figure out your survival. Google wants to see how creative you'd get, thinking on your feet. What would you do? Google thinks the best thing would be to try and break the motor. Question: there are 4 of you, and you all need to cross a very rickety bridge in the dark. The thing is, this old bridge is dangerous, and you can't get across without taking a flashlight. The bridge can only support 2 people at one time, and you only have 1 flashlight. To add to the problem, all of you move at different speeds. The 4 of you move across the bridge at 1 minute, 2 minutes, 7 minutes, and 10 minutes. How do you get them across the bridge in the least amount of time? Answer: the 1 minute and 2 minute people go across together, but then 2 comes back with the torch. The 7 and 10 minute people go next, and then 1 comes back with the torch. Then 1 and 2 go across again. You were all across, and it just took 17 minutes. Did you enjoy these Google puzzles? Did you ever want to create your own puzzles? If so, we suggest checking out a class on Skillshare called Create Puzzles, Get Published. The class focuses on how to do proper research, how to choose themes and rewards, how puzzle mechanics work, and more. You can learn this and many more things by joining Skillshare. Premium membership will give you unlimited access to topics that will improve your skills and your life. The first 1,000 people to sign up by visiting Skillshare.com/infographics32 or clicking the link in the description will receive 2 months of Skillshare absolutely free. Join Skillshare and start learning today. So how many of these did you get correct? Would you have passed the interview? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, be sure to watch our other video called 10 Highest Paying Jobs. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.